Hey guys, Mark Kwok here. Today I want to talk about a shoe that has become very popular and my thoughts on it. I've had it for several weeks now, and that is the New Balance 990 version 5. So this is a shoe that I've probably seen for years and years and years, but it became quite popular over the last several years because of the fact that a bunch of supermodels and super trendy designer women and so on were wearing this shoe, which was originally kind of I've seen on the feet of, dads who are like 50 years old in, suburbia America. Somehow the dad shoe craze has become pretty big over the last several years, and the most trendy, the most fashionable people are wearing shoes that are probably considered in the past to be the least fashionable. Like, people wore the shoe simply for comfort, and that was it. It didn't matter the design, but all of a sudden it was being repurposed as kind of like this amazingly fashionable shoe for trendy supermodels and the celebrities and so on. So this is the version 5, which I think has become probably the most iconic and popular as of late. So pros and cons, let's walk through it. So pro number 1 is that these are indeed very comfortable. I think before the whole fashion craze, the main reason people got this shoe is because it's super comfortable. They have this Ortholite ultra soft comfort insert in here that just, I don't know, it feels like you're kind of wearing clouds to some extent. I have no doubts if your feet kind of fit this mold that you're gonna be very, very comfortable. Second pro is that New Balance, despite any trendiness or what have you, is a long-standing company. It is a company that I admire. They do great shoes for running. Like, they know how to make a shoe, and the brand itself has been, stood the test of time. I mean, I think they have been really popular at one point. They were really not popular for another point, but they continue to make shoes, make quality shoes, and continue on. Third pro is that these specific shoes, they're part of their core collection, and it's probably because they're so popular that they just sell a bunch of these. So as part of the core collection, one of the things that they do is they do some that are made in the US. And so it actually has on the lip of here a US flag. So I think that means that over 70% of the construction and the material and everything like that needs to be US based. And not all their shoes are like that. Like, most of these companies, they go out to Thailand or China or what have you, but this shoe at least, is largely in the US, and that is pretty impressive. The quality is quite good, and I think it's gonna be better than most of the competitors kind of in this price range even. I think ultimately you're looking for high quality stuff here, and they don't skimp here. Now, the last pro will transition to a con, and that is design. I think design generally, like, this design is tried and true in some way. It's almost iconic because we can kind of notice this sort of New Balance shoe. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily just the 990s. I think the 574s or something like this. New Balance has kind of a silhouette and aesthetic that I think we all recognize, and that's almost iconic at this point. And this shoe embodies that design and that design ethos. And so if you're about that, or you like the timelessness of that, then I think that's a big pro for this shoe, because it does follow alongside. It looks like a New Balance shoe. Like, everyone can see it and it says, oh, this is the generic classic New Balance shoe. Now that leads us into con, which is design. So the dad shoe craze, let me talk about this for just a moment. The dad shoe craze is fascinating to me. It's basically this ironic thing, I think. It's saying, hey guys, I'm so cool that I can wear literally the least cool thing and still pull it off and make you think that this is all cool. That permeates the minds of a lot of people, and that includes myself. I mean, I clearly went and tried to purchase this thing because I didn't know what the hype was all about. However, let's be real. These are effectively somewhat ugly shoes in a sense. They're dad shoes. They when you think of your mind, I'm not thinking about how cool the person is. Generally, I'm thinking about, oh, this is like the most generic shoe that someone in their yard who's hosing down the yard, has their kids going to school and so on, that's what they're wearing. And they're wearing it for comfort, and almost comfort exclusively. So this puts us in a really weird, uncanny valley that I think this shoe looks great on the skinny supermodel with the coolest of the cool people that are wearing the most flashy, crazy things that you would never think to wear. So this shoe looks cool on them. And then it looks appropriate on that kind of like least fashionable baggy dad pants, like does it holes in the sweaters type of dad. And Where does that put everyone in between? I think in New Balance's marketing, they actually say, hey, this shoe is equally as great on London supermodels as it is their Ohio dad. It's literally in the New Balance marketing. So the implication there is that everyone in between, that means anybody between those two polar opposites can wear the shoe and it'll be great. But the reality, I think, is not that. I think the reality is Ohio dads can wear this, supermodels can wear this, and everyone in between is kind of uncomfortable wearing this shoe. So people who are somewhat on trend, they're following the mainstream stuff, and they wear this, it's a little odd because it looks like they're either trying too hard or not trying hard enough. Anyway, that was a long rant and I'm sorry for that, but I just wanted to mention that because I think a lot of people who are watching this video might feel very similarly, and that's why I want to warn you ahead of time with this shoe. And last con is going to be price. I mean, I mentioned that this is great construction, it's good quality, it's a made in the USA product, so naturally it's going to be more expensive, but there are no discounts on this bad boy. I don't know, I've generically in my head thought that shoes like this were like under 100 for all my life. Like, I just never thought a suburban dad in Ohio is paying $200 for a shoe like this. They're paying 40 bucks on discount clearance in the back of your old like Mervyn's or something like that. That's where they're buying this shoe, I thought. Whereas I go to the New Balance store and I'm seeing this for 200 bucks basically. I'm thinking, I think that if you're kind of a normal person, you love this design, you love comfort, then I think this shoe is worth it for you. However, if you're kind of like trying to follow the trend, all right, or you think you've seen these out there a bunch and you're like, wait, I kind of want to try that out and it might be cool for me to try dad shoes for the first time, I'd say stay away. One last thing I did forget to say is that if your feet don't fit this mold that well, they aren't actually that comfortable. You see why they would be comfortable, but they hit a certain part of your arch in a way that is really uncomfortable. Try them before you buy them. Walk around for a while in your home with them, because I didn't realize that these were like kind of hurting the arch of my feet until like probably a little while, probably like 30-40 minutes of walking around these. So overall, for the average person, I say don't get these shoes. I'm sorry, I'm returning them. They're no longer gonna be part of my collection. But for people who know exactly what they want with this shoe, I've told you the pros and cons, and choose carefully from there. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mark Kwok. These are the 990 V5s. I will see you guys on the next one.